The one thing that was really crap about this whole project was the amount of stick that I got over on Instagram for not removing my mold lines, as you can see by all these wonderful comments on the screen. In the end though, it actually really made me laugh because yeah, that was pretty silly to not remove my mold lines and I really regret it now. Hey guys, I'm having to do the YouTube channel a bit differently these days. I'm just gonna let the world know what's going on in my life, and then I'm going to let the rest of the video play. We're in the process of trying to expand our family. I can no longer do the studio in my kitchen for YouTube, which I think I've mentioned before in a previous update. But as you can see, there's a studio being built in my back garden, which is pretty cool. Now, there's been delays on getting this finished off, and I don't want to mess up the plans, but things are rolling, and hopefully I can get my stuff out of the kitchen and into this studio soon. But all of that aside, I wanted to use some of the footage that I filmed over the whole course of the year that I did the Space Marine video, because some of it's going to be useful to some people. So yeah, this video is going to be all about how to make a gas release valve to put lots of helium into a weather balloon in a very short amount of time. So this is going to be useful to anyone else who wants to send a Space Marine into space, or to any avid weather balloon people. Hopefully it's interesting. I'm going to get back to making regular content as soon as I can get this shed functional. So yeah, enjoy the video. My brother and I already did try and film this segment, but the footage is really blurry, so I thought I would film the whole thing again and show you exactly how we're going to turn this crappy valve into something that releases a massive amount of gas very, very quickly. So all of the elements that I am using in this valve system you can easily pick up at your local DIY or plumber store. You might be asking, why do we need to make the valve? And it's basically so that we can inflate the balloon, change over the cans, and we're not going to lose the gas once we're changing over the cans. So we need a way to stop that gas coming back out. This original valve that came with the helium can is just not going to release enough gas for us to do this quickly enough. So this is the valve that comes from the helium tank, and we're going to modify it. It's quite easy to cut the top off this with the use of a hobby knife. As you can see, running down the center of the valve, there is a metal pin which we need to remove. We're going to do that by turning the valve upside down and pressurizing it so that the bits come out. Now there's nothing inhibiting the flow of gas down the center of the tube. Now that the gas flow is not being inhibited down the original valve, we're going to use some 12mm PVC pipe to shove into the end, like this. This doesn't need any glue or anything. Because of the rubber pipe, it actually holds a really good seal. Then we're going to use one of these very handy push fit plumber fittings, which make your connecting up very, very easy. Again, you can get these from your local plumber store or your DIY store. I'm then going to use a double-ended screw connector to attach my plumber fitting to a flexi hose. The reason we're using a flexi hose is to give us a lot more versatility on the day. It's going to be a lot of moving around, and we want that to be as comfortable as possible. The flexi hose also has one of those push fit connectors, which means you can attach another piece of PVC pipe, and then we're ready to put our tap valve on. So the reason why we've got a tap valve on will become a bit more clear later on, but this basically stops the flow of gas entirely so that we can reattach the balloon or attach the balloon without all of the gas actually just shooting back out of the balloon, if that makes sense. I'll try and explain that again better later on. And then yeah, just one more length of PVC pipe and our valve is ready to go. So this end goes to the balloon and this end goes to the canister. The cool thing about this end is that we can make quite a few of these bits, meaning that we can have several canisters with a quick release system. That means that the balloon is going to get up into space as fast as possible. We don't want to waste any time. So, do you mind coming up close so you can see the valve system? Yeah. So
Steve, don't open that until...
Yeah, releasing here, and then ready release?
Yeah.
And here we go, this is the valve in action on the day of our launch of our Space Marine. As you can see, this balloon has already got about 3 or 4 cans of helium inside of it already. It might not look like it here, but this whole process actually felt really intense. We were under pressure to get our balloon filled before our launch window. And that's why the valve was so important for us, because we needed something that we could rely on, which allowed us to put lots of air into the balloon and then it not escape when we were changing things over, as you can see in the process here. My brother's about to turn off the tap. That means that the flow of gas is not going to come back out of the balloon while we change the canister over. The fact that the tap is closed means that I can take the other end off and put new canister off, and we don't lose any of that precious helium that we need for the balloon to go up to the stratosphere. One thing to note here for anybody who does want to do something like this is to wear gloves for the person who's beside the canister, because the canister gets extremely cold as all of that gas rushes out of the valve. You can see that my brother is also wearing some latex gloves. The reason why he's wearing latex gloves is because he doesn't want to get any of his hand grease onto the weather balloon itself, because that grease creates a spot where it could actually be weaker and then burst before we want it to burst actually. So yeah, that's how we managed to get 10 cans of helium into a big weather balloon in a very short space of time. And then we launched our Space Marine to the edge of the stratosphere. And if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out in the description below this video. And this is the actual Space Marine that we sent to the edge of space. Miraculously, we got him back in one piece. The one thing that was really crap about this whole project was the amount of stick that I got over on Instagram for not removing my mold lines, as you can see by all these wonderful comments on the screen. In the end though, it actually really made me laugh, because yeah, that was pretty silly to not remove my mold lines, and I really regret it now. But so not only the first Space Marine in space, but the first mold lines in space. So yeah, 2 firsts. I'm actually out here in my new Nat One Videos studio, which I'm really excited about. This has taken a long time just to get to this point. It's been moving slowly, but things are moving again. I've been putting in the insulation over this last couple of days. There's actually an electrician coming to look about fitting in the electricity today. So hopefully it won't be too long before I can get this channel back up and running, and yeah, I'll be making models out here, and yeah, maybe the whole vibe of the channel is going to change. I don't know. I think I'm going to be taking things a little more relaxed, a little less seriously, and just get back to having some fun, making some videos, and hopefully you guys are going to come along for the ride. A massive thank you to all of the guys over on Patreon. You guys are absolute legends for sticking around and being patient. Yeah, you're amazing. So thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, hopefully I will see you in this shed very soon making some models. All right, bye.